Hey superstars, today we are just doing some division practice. So you won't need your workbook, but you will need some notebook paper or scratch paper. Notebook paper is a little better because we can turn it sideways and get everything lined up. And you will need a pencil. So please make sure you have those things out. As I'm working through the problems on here, I want you to be copying them down, working them on your paper. So don't just sit and listen, but make sure we're trying to work through them. Okay, so the first thing I want to go through is our steps of division. So this is one way that we can divide, and there's a little phrase that I've been saying over and over again and writing over and over again that can help us remember the steps. So we have, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? The D in does stands for divide. The M in McDonald's stands for multiply. The S in sell stands for subtract. The check mark here, or the C in cheese, is check. And then our last one is burgers. The B stands for bring down. So I've got the steps outlined right over here as well. And so our first step is to divide. So our 7, and what they didn't do here, which Miss Collins would make you do, 7 won't divide into 5 because that's a smaller number. And so then the next step that they did, I'm going to use my little piece of paper so it's not as, oh wait, I forgot. Yeah, remember how that works. So 7 divides into 56 8 times. So the 8 came up here, and then they multiply 7 times 8 to get 56. So then the 56 goes down below the numbers that you're dividing into. And so we put our 8 up here. So it's all gonna line up with our ones place, that's where we're subtracting. So now I do 56, take away 56, I get 0. And then I check, is 0 less than 7? Yes, it is. So we're good, see, 0 less than 7. Then I'm gonna bring down. So I bring down my 7, and I have to ask myself, so I ignore up here, and I ask myself, how many times does 7 fit inside 7? Well, 1 time, so my 1 comes up here. And then I need to multiply 1 times 7, which equals 7. So my 7 comes down below, and then I need to subtract. 7 take away 7 is 0. And then my last step is to check, is 0 less than 7? Yep, we're good to go. And we don't even have a remainder or anything left over on this one. And our answer is 81. Okay, we are gonna work through some problems. Today is a practice day. So our first problem over here, and I might just rewrite it, honestly, bigger in the middle so you guys can see it a little better. We have 4,241 as our dividend, and we are dividing it by 57. So these are going to be a little bit more challenging, and that's because we've got longer dividends, so our number's bigger. We have 2-digit divisors, and it just makes it more challenging when our numbers get bigger, but that's why we really go slow. We go through our steps. We do what we know to solve through these problems. So will 56 fit into 4? No, it won't. And this is when I can use this little guy. So I put my 0 up there, okay? And then I can't put it into it, so I'm gonna move over to my next one. Will 56 go into 42? No, it won't, which is a huge bummer. So put our 0 there. So I'm gonna move it over one more time. Will 56 go into 424? Yes, it will, but I have to figure out how many times. So instead of just listing your multiples of 57, which will take a little bit of time, we can use what Ms. Collins calls is the cover-up method. So I'm going to cover up my ones place of the number I'm trying to put it into. So we're ignoring that last little number, so that's why I say that. And cover up this one. And I can ask myself, about how many times would 5 go into 42? Well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So 8 times. So now I'm gonna go back to 57 and try 57 times 8. And it might be a little too high, might be a little too low. We'll just have to find out. So 8 times 7 is 54. No, wait, 56. There we go. Whoops, see, careful. And I paused and I thought about it and I was like, that doesn't sound quite right. And then I fixed it. Okay, so then 8 times 5 is 40 plus 5 is 45. So we got 456. Oop, that's too high. So instead of an 8, I'm going to try 7. So we'll do 57 times 7 to see how many times it's dividing in. This is still our first step. But we're kind of doing step 1 and 2 because we have to multiply for step 2. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 5 is 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So $3.99. So we'll go in 7 times. And then I multiply 57 times 7. I already did that. I got 399. And now I'm on subtract. So don't forget our does. McDonald's, sell, cheese, burgers. So when I subtract, I can't do 4 take away 9, so I have to regroup. So I cross out my 2 and I make it a 1, and this becomes 14. So 14 take away 9 is 5. And then I can't do 1 take away 9. So I gotta cross out my 4, make it a 3, and now that's 11. So 11 take away 9 is 2, and 3 minus 3 is 0. So I have 25 is 20, I'm gonna check now. Is 25 less than 57? Yes, so I'm ready to bring down over here. And we have 251. Well, I already know 7 is gonna be too big. I can use that cover up again. How many times would 5 go into 25? Well, 5 times. So I can try 57 times 5, but I have a feeling that's gonna be too big. I'm just gonna use what space I have. 57 times 5. So 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 5, 25. 26, 27, 28. Yep, I thought it would be too big. 285, just a little bit. So instead I need to erase and try times 4. If you have lots of space, then don't erase. I am just running out of room right here, so I'm erasing. So 4 times 7 is 28. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2, 22. That will fit into it, so it goes in 4 times. I just brought this one down, so I'm working right here. I gotta put that 4 on top of my 1 I just brought down. And I put 228 down here. I'm gonna subtract. Well, I can't do 1 minus 8, so I have 5 becomes a 4. This is 11, take away 8 is 3. 4 take away 2 is 2. And then that would be 0 right there. 23 less than 57, yep. So we get a remainder of 23. Okay, let's go ahead and model probably just one more. Where's my time at? Yeah, we'll probably have time to model one more. Okay, why don't we do 4,942 divided by 44. Okay, so remember, we have our does, McDonald's, sell, cheese, burgers. We divide in first, and we multiply, and we subtract that product that we got, and we check, is our difference less than the divisor? Then we bring down our next digit. So will 44 divide into 4? No, it will not. 0 times. Will 44 divide into 49? Yes, it will. And this is when it's kind of nice, when our 2-digit goes into the first 2 digits, then everything's a little bit easier. It's when we get that 3-digit where we have to do a little bit more work. So it will go in, and I know it'll go in 1 time. If I double 44, I'm gonna have 88, and that's too big. So now I'm on multiply. 44 times 1, just 44. And then I subtract. Well, 9 minus 4 is 5. 4 minus 4 is 0. So I'm ready for my next number. Oh, I have to check. Is 5 less than 44? Checking? Yes, it is. So we're good to bring down our next one. And we have 54. Ooh, this one is pretty easy. Maybe we need to do one more after this. So 44 will go into 54. I know 1 time, because again, if I double 44, so times 2, I'd have 88. So 44 times 1 is 44. When I subtract, I have 10 left over. And I check, is 10 less than 44? Yep, so I'm good to bring down my 2. So 44 into 102, well, if I know 44, and then it would be 88, and so I know that's pretty close to 102. You can still use the cover up method here. If that is working for you, cover up your 1's place here, cover up your 1's place here. How many times would 4 go into 10 without going over? Well, 4, 8, 12 is too big, so only 2 times. That's what we're getting when we're finding our multiples too. So I'm gonna put 2 up here, and then I'm gonna subtract 88 from 102. Well, I can't do 2 take away 8, so I've got to double borrow. My 1 becomes a 0. If I make this a 10, great, but I've got to cross it off and make it a 9, so that then this can be a 12, since I already have 2 there. 12 take away 8 is 4. 9 take away 8 is 1. I check, is 14 less than 44? Yep, so then my remainder is 14. So we get 112, remainder 14. Okay, let's try one more because I feel like the bigger ones are where we're getting a little stuck. So why don't we try this one right here? So we have 2,275 divided by 72. So you can always pause, make sure you get this written down, and then pause as I'm solving through so you are tracking what I'm doing. So remember, we are gonna start, will 72 divide into 2? No, it won't. We'll go into 22. No, it won't. So here is a situation where we have to do that a little bit of extra work. Use that cover up method to help us. So I have 227. So if I cover up my 7 and I cover up my 2, how many times would 7 go into 22 without going over? This is giving us a guesstimation. So 7, 14, 21, 28, 4 is too many. So I'm gonna try 3. So we're gonna do 72 times 3. And again, this is step 1, but we're getting some work done for step 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. So 216. It'll go in 3 times. So it divides in 3 times. That number goes up here. Then I multiply 72 times 3. Well, that's the 216. And then I'm going to subtract. 7 take away 6 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. Now I'm on check. Is 11 less than 72? Yes, it is. We are good to move on. Now I'm going to bring down my 5. So I could see if I'm looking at this and I use my cover up, how many times I'm putting 72 into 115, but if I cover up, how many times would 7 go into 11? 7, 14, only 1 time. So I would say this would go in 1 time and we can try it. So we can put our 72 down here and then see how we do. So 5 take away 2 is 3. And really I can look at this as like 11 take away 7, because if I cross this off, make it a 0, that you still have 11 take away 7. So 11 take away 7 is 4. And so we have 43 left over. Now I'm gonna check, is 43 less than 72? Yes, it is. So that is gonna be my remainder. Remainder 43. Okay, you've got some practice problems to do on Google Slides on your Schoology. And after you're done with those practice problems, I want you setting up your notes very nice and neat. You're gonna take a picture of it with your computer and upload that picture. I want to see the work you are doing to get your answers on that page. Alrighty, let me know if you have questions.